This is Cockpits and Cocktails. We use this podcast to share stories and talk about all things aviation and aerospace. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Cheers to you and enjoy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Cockpits and Cocktails. I am Natalie Flygirl Kelly here with my co-hosts.
It's Stephanie and Cooper the pilot.
We took pretty much all of July off and almost all of August at this point. But we have a lot to talk about. We have Oshkosh, and we're going to talk about, what's going on in our lives and what's the future look like. So I am looking forward to it. Ladies, I'm glad to be able to connect with the two of you. Tell me, how about Stephanie? I know, Cooper, you weren't able to go to Oshkosh, but Stephanie, tell me what Oshkosh was like for you and what you liked, disliked, what the whole experience was.
Well, I think 4 weeks before Oshkosh, I broke my wrist that I had surgery on all year. So I was back in a cast. So that is the one thing I couldn't stand about Oshkosh. I'm still in the cast. So yeah, the heat, it's getting to me, or I'm just getting too old. And by the time Wednesday comes around, there's not enough showers. You could shower all day long and it's still just so hot and gross. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know if it's whew. But yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve with Oshkosh is just, you're the dirt on your feet, and it's you can.
I feel like I'm eating dirt. I mean, it tastes like dirt in the air.
But I don't know if you guys saw it, but Cooper probably have seen these reels. But during Sun and Fun, that Sun and Fun, the sand. If you have sandals on, your feet are black,
mm-hmm.
black. So people made reels about selling feet photos as a joke, and there was you could have sneakers on and socks, and then you still had your ankle line of just black.
I wore white pants to Sun and Fun, and they came back completely black. Even all
did you just throw them out?
I bleached them.
There you go.
Did they come clean?
It did work. They were great.
Yeah. I had just gotten some new tennis shoes or sneakers, and right before, and I've learned that your feet are going to get filthy. So I wore my old sneakers. I was like, I'm not wearing these new ones. And of course they were very dirty and dusty and gray and yucky. So I always recommend do not wear new shoes to these air shows.
Unless they're black or they have black soles somehow.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. And who wants to wear black shoes because it's hot, especially when you are getting out on the flight line or where they have the displays of all the static airplanes. It's freaking hot.
I saw people walking, some of them were walking, some of them were on the jazzy scooters, which made me really notice they had these things around their neck, and it was like an air conditioner around their neck. Yeah. And I was like, what is happening? And tell me where you got that. I don't know if it's my age or if we're all on the same page, because I think everyone complains about the dirt, the tire. You're just exhausted by Wednesday. If you come Saturday or Sunday, you're over the week, man. I'm just so over. People were like, you got to stay for the second night show. I'm like, I didn't even watch a night show and Sun and Fun. I mean, I did have my own reasons because I was in pain from having surgery, but I
do love the night show. I always try to make at least one.
It is pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
Very
but
cool.
I don't feel like I need to see two.
Yeah.
Unless it was a nice, beautiful 7-degree week. Yeah, I would totally.
You have to fight the crowds though. So it's kind of is it worth it? And if you're camping, you got to carry your chair and, find a place to sit kind of early in order to get a decent place to sit. And then it takes forever to get out of there because everybody's leaving at the same time. And the bikes, I mean, there are so many bikes to leave. It's like, and you got the electric bikes, and then people have like little dirt bikes and golf carts, and everybody's leaving at once. It's I was like, I feel like I'm in Thailand right now.
It's crazy
house.
Right. Yeah. And then you, by the beer tent, you have this long line of cars for the Uber drop off, and it's just mad people coming. It's just insane, because Cooper was there last year at the Wednesday night show where we watched it together, and I know where'd you go after? Did you go to a different party? I don't even know if I went home, but I think I ended up at the beer tent. Cooper, did you go to the beer tent?
I've been to the bear tent.
No, I mean last after the AOPA party at the night show.
I was in Spain.
No, last year.
Oh, last year. Last year, after the night show, I went to the beer tent.
So like it was just that whole like mob. Like you were just in a cattle herd.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a golf cart? I think I've promised myself I'm gonna get a golf cart from now on.
No, I had my bike and
electric scooter.
I used a bike. So
and that was fine. I had as long as you didn't have to walk. Like an electric scooter, a bike. I mean, I don't know how to get a golf cart there because I'm not that talented.
I just need a golf cart, I've realized, because I carry so much, I carry all those giveaways and my camera equipment, and it's heavy.
Well, if you give a lot of money as a sponsor, because I've done this with and you do get a golf cart if you do that. So,
really? So that's what I'm doing
that's
wrong.
The trick.
That's how to get the golf cart there.
Money talks,
I'll still ride my electric scooter. No,
so
we'll just get more money together.
I like the bike thing, except for after the night show, because it is a little bit crazy. It's almost easier to walk because it's just so many people and of different riding skills. You got little kids, and then you got, men that are like trying to speed through everything, and these little bitty kids that you're trying to watch out for as well, that I feel bad for them. I'm like, man, they must be scared to death. This is not a fun thing to navigate right now. Yeah. And what else happened, Stephanie, that you enjoyed? You went to the flying party or the dinner?
Yeah. That was actually probably I didn't go to any of the Cirrus dinners because they do like, Cirrus can host some good, they cater and cook in front. Oh, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really, every night I was busy and somewhere else. So I kind of I think Oshkosh is the one week of the year that I lose weight, and I also come home severely dehydrated. But flying magazine event was probably the best I ate all week.
Yeah.
And drank. Thanks, Flying Magazine.
And you camped in a camper, right?
Yeah, that was always fun. The electric and water hookup spots, they go so quickly. When we pulled in, we were like, oh, we're here for an electric spot. And they're like, oh, we're sold out. I was like, the hell you are? Like that's fine to be sold out. But, and I think they thought that we were just like rolling in, hoping to get one.
But you'd already reserved one, right?
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. But it's just like I need AC and running water. Mm-hmm. Period. I if I have to walk and I don't have a scooter, a golf cart, or a bike, and I have to walk, fine. But I need AC and I need running water.
Yeah. Well, we're always watching the electric spot. So if you camp or don't camp, I don't know, but here's the thing. They have a very select few of those, and they're called improved sites, they call them. And they are so expensive because you have to pay for every day from the time you reserve it through the entire week, whether or not you're staying the whole week or not. And We're always watching it, but we've never done it because we just can't spend that much money. It's just like, this just does not feel right. But we do have water. I mean, campers have tanks, so you have water tank on your camper, and we also have generators, so we can hook up and have electricity. I know there are people that tent camp, and I've never done that. I've never stayed in a camper where you can't have the generator running 24 hours, because they have spots where it's just 24-hour generators, and then spots where they have to turn it off at like 10 or something at night. There's just no freaking way I'm going without being able to have electricity and air conditioning. No. I applaud those people that can suffer through that, but I'm not interested in wearing myself out all day and then not sleeping at night because I'm too hot.
I don't know how to work a generator. That's where like I don't know how to work one.
I have to say that I don't either, but my boyfriend does. So
he could, you know how you can pay for the improved sites? Have him walk around and give out pass, like he'll
That's
come
true.
for $50. He'll hook up and teach you how to work this generator.
Yeah. So I mean, like, our camping is like, maybe I think we spent maybe $300 for the week, and I know you're not spending that on improved sites. And it's like, I can freaking go to Europe for what this costs to camp here at Oshkosh.
Whenever I spend too much money on something stupid, I immediately, this is gonna, oh my God, this is gonna show how horrible a person I am. I immediately think the bag I could have gotten, or how many shoes that I could have gotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oshkosh for me was, my boyfriend and I were there, and it was very low key. I wasn't running around all over the place like I have in previous years. I was just kind of like wanting to enjoy the show. And he and I, mostly he, are building an RV-14. So I was actually going with him to some of the, seminars about building the airplane and avionics and engines and all kinds of stuff like that, and learning about that kind of thing. And I really, really enjoyed it. It was just so much more relaxing than previous years. And I was like, I'm just not running around. I didn't do a thing at Sporties like I typically do, a meet and greet thing. I was like, I'm not overextending myself. I'm not going to commit to a whole bunch of stuff because I just don't want to. I want to enjoy the show. I want this to be fun, and I don't want to be exhausted at the end of the day. So that's what I did. It was great.
I feel like, Cooper, don't you have, you're just like, your schedule's just packed. Do you just wear yourself out, or you just?
I live for it. I love I have always wanted to go to the workshops. I put it in my schedule, but I never make it over. But I live for, and a lot of people on social media, they say they're going to be there and they want to meet up and talk. And I try to do that just, because I try to be available and real for them. A lot of these people are just starting their journey. So I just try to be available to them if they want to stop and talk about something. But I live for it. I live for the parties. That's nice. Still loving that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is our Coachella. It's our Coachella for aviation.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
Although it's sudden fun. Cooper walked in like she was so tired when I saw her. She was like, "Can I just sit down?"
I was super tired.
Some people like that, that level of excitement and busyness, and that's great. Do you consider yourself an extrovert, Cooper?
No, I'm actually like a homebody and very shy, and I don't like go out of my way to do stuff like that. But when it comes to aviation, I love it so much. I just want to tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
That's like when we find any reason to be like, I'm a pilot. Like
exactly.
That one meme, it's like they're at a grave site, and it's like, would anyone else like to say anything? And it's like, I'm a pilot. It is funny though. Like, I am a homebody too, I feel like, but I don't mind going out and seeing people, but I also would like to make sure that I could be home at a normal time and don't mess up my schedule.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I'm looking forward to is one of my kids saying, "Hey, you go to all these air shows. Can I come with you?" I'm just waiting.
That'll be fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, somebody asked if I was going to bring my niece, and I'm like, oh man, she would never be able to keep up because it's just so much. Or she wouldn't want, she'd be like, can we leave? Or, so, I mean,
how old is she?
Fun and fun. She is 9.
Oh, yeah. She probably needs to wait a little bit longer. Yeah. Or she could kind of do her own thing as well. Like she might enjoy it more if she could go look at what she wanted to look at.
Right.
Right.
Or maybe like start out at Sun and Fun. Because really you only need to go to Sun and Fun for like a day. Because you could walk it all around. So but
it's definitely not as big. But yeah, so I mean it was maybe my favorite Oshkosh because I just did not commit to things. I did not fill my schedule up. I enjoyed it. It was relaxing. I got to see the air show when I wanted to. And yeah, so it was good. What were you doing during that time, Cooper?
I was
want to share?
I would love to. I was taking a trip with my daughter to Europe. We went to Paris and we checked out everything over there. I got an amazing spot in the perfect spot in Paris. And so she didn't have to, we walked everywhere, but she didn't have to walk too far. And I don't know if you guys know, but during the summers, they have this special fair for families. So we took some time there, but then we went off to Nice and then to Monaco and then to Barcelona. And I had wished I had known I loved Barcelona that much because I would have allocated many, many more days there.
Yeah. Is that where the Sagrada Familia is? Or
yes. I don't know if you saw my video on it. You could spend a whole day there. It's amazing.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
I've been there. They've been building it. They're like still building it. I mean,
they still have 80 more years. They said about 86 more years.
Yeah. It's massive. It's so ornate. It's very unique. Yeah. And Gaudi, the whole Gaudi area. Did you go there?
Yes. I wonder like if the word Gaudi came from that.
It did. Yeah. Our tour guide when we went said that that's kind of where it came from because I love it.
But the
epitome of Gaudi in a way,
Yeah. And it's not what I was expecting either. Did you go up in the tower?
I don't remember the tower, no. Because it kind of, from what I remember, it kind of sits up on a hill, right?
Yes.
Overlooking the city, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember the tower. It's been probably 8 to 9 years since I've been, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful. And Barcelona is so nice. And after driving in Nice and Monaco, I was a little hesitant, almost canceled my car rental in Spain. But then I got to Barcelona and it's not at all like, I mean, it's still compact, but it was so much easier to drive there. Mm-hmm. So we got to drive around the city.
That sounds so nice.
But I kept seeing all these posts and it was killing me. Oh. Everybody's posting. I'm just like, oh no. And then Oshkosh was sending me text messages about the weather.
Oh no. And the arrivals and stuff. And you're like, stop it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was so
I
jealous.
Didn't think of that. Yeah, but you kind of, I feel like Cooper probably had more fun than we did. I mean, it is Oshkosh, but like,
I lost 6 pounds.
Nice.
Well, then you're still the same as me. I think everyone. Yeah. So we did it the same way, just totally different ways.
Yeah.
And I probably gained 12 back.
I know another friend of mine that actually during the same week, which they've been going for years, wound up going to Greece for that during that time. And I mean, you can always go to Oshkosh next year. So it's like, it's still going to be there. I would definitely, try not to have too much FOMO because, you had a great time with your daughter and you're never going to be able to, replicate that. You'll never forget it. And you have Oshkosh next year. So,
I like Oshkosh because you get to meet up with people that you're not going to like. I'm not going to take a trip to I don't know. I can't think of Kansas just to meet up with somebody that I follow on Instagram. So
that's what I love about it. Place. Yeah, agree. That's what I love about Oshkosh is meeting all the people that I talk to, but have never met face to face.
Yeah. What was the guy that he's so funny that did all those videos with the oh gosh, what's his name? Ukulele. He was
oh my
funny.
gosh.
I was cracking up.
Matthew, he is hysterical. And he's like my personality exactly, just
really
he's all bottled up. Yeah, he is just I've been friends with him on Instagram for a bit. I wouldn't know how long because I don't even know what month we're in at this point. But oh my gosh. And I literally went out of the way to find him because you know how like somebody will be like, oh, where are you? And then you're like, oh, I didn't get to meet up with them by today. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it, and it just, it was the funniest. And that wasn't, I guess, my friend Ethan was like, oh, you got to get Stephanie tossing your phone away. Like, because nobody, like, we're not like, none of us are like that, but it was just hysterical, his idea. I mean, so cute. It was so funny. And the first time, the only reason I said it was 2 takes was he started recording and I think I was like adjusting my bra or something. And I was like, you can't do that. Like, we have to redo it.
Do it again.
Where I would have hit it down right away. It was hysterical because how many times you try to do something and you have to redo it over and over and over and over and over and over. Yeah. So
that was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, he's hysterical. If you haven't met him, he's definitely somebody to meet up with.
I think I can get along with him. I have not met him, but I like his sense of humor.
Yeah, he's funny. He
doesn't seem to take himself too seriously and seems to be
no, and he's happy. He's happy like we all are. Like he's happy to meet somebody, and if it's like, oh, I'm not your cup of tea, okay, that's kind of like how I think all 3 of us are. Like if you don't really like, oh, okay, all right, like if you don't like me, then okay,
sorry.
Like,
yeah, like life goes on,
right? Not a big deal.
Yeah,
but yeah,
well, I'm glad to see, some people get a little bit, I don't know what the word is, full of themselves, maybe snobby, maybe some people that
I'm a snob.
No, you're not a snob. You're very friendly. I can't stand that. I was like, I don't.
You can't stand that I'm a snob. I mean that I'm friendly, or you can't stand snobs.
Snobs.
Names. Just kidding.
No names. No names. No. But if you're listening, I bet you know who you are.
Side chat.
I'll send you a text later.
So funny.
That is
awesome. Okay, so let's talk about what's on the horizon for everyone. If y'all have anything kind of going on, then I would love to hear about it. What's going on? Are you, Stephanie, are you working on anything?
I keep saying that I'm going to work on my instrument reading. It's very difficult to fly when your hand's in a cast.
Yes.
So yeah, ground. Okay. But I'm using my cast as my excuse to push it off a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my new plane's coming in a few months. So that's exciting.
But how is that like? Are you in just the process? Are you in contact with them on a regular?
Oh, all the time.
You hear about what's next, and you are choosing things, or what's that?
No, everything. So by the time it comes, it'll have been like 3 years from when I signed.
Wow.
Because
it takes that long, or the whole supply chain?
There was a list. It was during COVID, so there was there was a list of just this high demand.
Yeah.
So yeah, back and forth with I fly down, we sit down. The easiest part was designing my interior. The hardest part was getting the right pink, which still was not actually the pink I wanted. This is hot pink.
You wanted that pink?
Yeah, but it technically the color pink that I would want would be faded within like a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, depending on how much it flies. So I had to go with, I had to pick between, they gave me many colors to pick through. And I had to finally just, I took them all outside, got them down to 3 colors. And then ultimately I just posted it on my story and I was like, 1, 2, or 3. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And the most, yeah. But honestly, if people didn't pick the color that I had liked, I would have been like, oh, well.
Yeah,
but
right.
luckily, everybody picked the same color.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you can fly down, or like if you wouldn't have your license by then, they would pick you up and fly you down for the delivery, or fly you and your family home. Because my sales rep, when we signed, he now sells Vision Jets. So I'll be able to just go down in the Vision Jet and have some Vision Jet time again, which is always fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if John will want to go with, but if he does, and if he does want to fly home in the pink plane, he can fly home in the Vision Jet too. Like, it doesn't really matter because they definitely help your customers who the current. This year they really cracked down on like who could go to the opening kickoff, who could get invited to the dinners. You had to have a special UPC code. Jesus, how old am I? The I cannot. Why can't I think of it? What's the little code? The QR code.
QR code, yeah.
There it is. But yeah, you had to have a QR code to get in. So it was very much cracked down on, you had to have had a new plane delivered or have one in the works within 3 years to be invited to anything. So that was like Oshkosh. And I understand because so many people, i.e. me, give out a VIP pass to everybody that I know.
Yeah.
It's not really fair, but it was cool and it was fun while it lasted. I think it'll be fun to have this finally come into works. But like once I came up with the design, I just needed, I think we had like maybe a month to finalize and tweak everything. And then once it was signed, that's it. It was signed by the state. And from then on, it's done. Sorry so that's okay. It's not the phone call I was waiting for. So
actually, let me say, I ignored it, but
you're like, they're calling.
It says the government agency that you were waiting on a call from.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun to finally let everyone see. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't care. It's just funny that the Barbie movie came out, and now Christmas is going to be Barbie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then this plane drops. But like everybody thinks like, oh, she just ran out and got a pink plane, when it's been a long cycle of abuse. No,
it's been a while.
Yeah. So yeah, there'll be fun things that people don't even know about, like inside, that I know.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Okay. So that just reminded me of something kind of funny right now when you're talking about Barbie. So you were talking on Instagram, you had a conversation with someone that made a comment about the song choice on my helicopter thing at Oshkosh.
Yes.
That was my son.
No.
Yeah. He texted me and he was like, "Are you the one responding on Instagram?" And I was like, "About what?" He said the song, and I went back and looked. He said interesting song choice or something, and you were like, something about how everybody on the planet
on the internet.
He was like, I was like, no, that was not me. He was like, I was thinking, what? I can't believe. I was like, no, it wasn't me. I bet it was Stephanie.
Yeah, like if I don't often, I haven't been getting on Instagram except when I do, I quick post something on my story. I don't like, unless like when I look, I notice, if you just posted and you're at the very top, I see you or Cooper, whoever, and that's how I see something. I don't sit and scroll all the time.
Right.
So I definitely don't notice unless like it's a podcast post and you tag me, then I see it because it pops into my messages.
Yeah.
So of course, when I see like picking on like a friend, I'm always trying to chime in.
Right. I know. I thought she does not know that is my son.
Tell him I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that you talking about Barbie reminded me that because I hadn't brought it to your attention yet, but I thought it was quite
that was
funny.
So long ago. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh,
You're
Cooper,
like
Cooper missed the whole thing.
If anyone that has the internet.
Cooper, she posted some like helicopter. Oh, you can get a helicopter tour for this much, or helicopter rides, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the ones that go around in the circle all the time, Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah, so she had posted that and like videos, but it was some sort of I think it was like a slowed down Barbie song. And so
yeah. And he wrote interesting song choice. And then
it was about his mom, but it was like, not your Barbie girl. I think it's like, you can't touch my body. And like, that's how it started. So he's probably like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and I told him, I said, I picked that song because it popped up as one of those trending ones. And I didn't even listen to what it was really saying. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I really had put no thought into that. And I thought my son is like, what is she posting? And I was like,
did you ever? I've gotten reels that are like songs from my childhood, and they're like, if they slow it down, you're like, that's what we were singing. Like I had no idea. So many songs from my childhood. I didn't even realize the song lyrics. So that also shows me.
Or what it meant. You knew, and you're like, can you believe my mom let me listen to that and sing that song?
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know how.
Sorry Cooper, about interrupting, but I thought that was funny.
No, that's funny. I don't know how Cooper. How do you with the kids? Do you just monitor everything? Like, I'm so thankful to have a daughter in college with this whole technology type. I mean, I still worry about her, but at the same time, she's old enough; she has to do her thing. But like, when Hunter's here, they're playing like Roblox or Roblox. I don't even know what he's Roblox. Yeah. I don't know the name, but
Roblox. Yeah,
I was way off, but yeah. So, but they're like playing together, and so it's like, okay. But I was always curious how like younger parents or younger kids deal with it.
Sure, it's hard.
I just do pop. I say, okay, pop quizzes. It's like a pop quiz. Bring me your phones. I don't tell them when or where.
That's
check
smart.
Everything. But my husband has this app where he can like turn certain apps off or give them certain time limits. Mm. And then I do more of the location because I keep up with where are they, who are they talking to.
Yeah, I would be very concerned, but it is kind of cool that you can do that location thing. I wish I could stalk my niece.
Like, you can get an air tag and secretly put it in her backpack.
Yes, that's right.
It gives an exact address.
That would keep me I just get so nervous like that something's gonna happen. And
I'm telling you, those air tags are amazing.
I have them on my cat, so I am definitely feeling you on the air tag thing.
Yeah.
Or we could take the kids to Sweden and get those chips. You know, they have those chips that they put in there.
I thought that was a joke. I didn't realize that's a real thing because I said that to my daughter. I was like, can I chip you? And she's like, Mom, I'm not a dog. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be Googling Sweden and chipping my... Wow. Dude, you as a mom, it's such the anxiety.
That's a little scary to me. I don't want I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists that think that when we got the COVID shot or whatever, they were putting microchips
nanotech.
Yeah.
I can't.
And I don't want people to, like, what if they got into the wrong hands, that information? I don't want, like.
Listen, I'm waiting for the IRS to call me so I can verify my damn identity. Like, my identity right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't even get through to identify myself, let alone.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So moving on, Cooper, what's on the horizon for you?
Well, this month, and next month, I'm going to several air shows. So hopefully people will join me there. I'm going to Pacific Air Show in Huntington Beach. And then I've never been to the Reno Air Race. And since it's the last year that it's going to be in Reno, I thought I better get my butt over there.
Nice, yeah.
And a bunch of TikTok people from the East Coast are going to fly over too and join. And then there's a seaplane. I've always wanted to do one of those. It's called splash-ins, because they fly. So I'm going to several air shows this next few weeks. So almost every weekend. And
she's making up for Osh, man.
Yes. Yeah. And I have some awesome giveaways. Then I have a team. I don't know if you guys watched or saw on my post the Flug Tag. So for about a year, I've had a team. We've been planning. We didn't get accepted this last time, but we're trying to get accepted again trying to get accepted for next year. So we're working on that project and trying to design an aircraft that will fly, but also look cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Flug Tag?
I've only seen it on online. Do you know what that is?
You can go onto my Instagram and see a couple of the videos. So what you do is you design a human powered aircraft. It can't have any thing else powering it. So there's a ramp, it's 50 feet up. And so your crew will push you off. You design this whole thing and you can't even build it until you get there. You just design it. So there's no test flights, nothing like that. And then they push you off and you see if it flies.
Oh my
god. Into the water.
Wow.
And so everything has to be
like just happened. It happens every year.
It happens every year. It just happened in Cincinnati.
Oh, it did?
That's this past weekend.
I had no idea.
Oh my gosh, it was right there. Yeah.
Is it always in the same place?
No, they move it around every year.
Oh my gosh. Were you in Cincinnati?
I wasn't, but one of my team members was. He went to go check it out and see to kind of help us for next year.
Idea.
Yeah, I think there were I don't know if my numbers are right, but I think there were over 300,000 people there at the river.
I'm gonna have to Google that and see.
I'm gonna have to get a boat because that would be cool to watch it.
Yeah, a lot of people do. They will get a boat and watch it from the water because then you can get up closer.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, that is interesting. I would love to see that. It sounds kind of unique.
Do you know who was also in Cincinnati?
Who?
Taylor Swift. Sorry.
Oh.
She was just here.
Oh, I know. Oh my god. And I got the code, and I got a code, and by the time I got in, there was like 19,000 people in front of me, and then it was all sold out. So good for me. But I did buy the resale tickets for Denver, which I'll never financially recover from.
I seen her one time, and she was actually in Louisville, I think. So that's about a little less than 2 hours drive for me. Took my niece and my sister went, and it was several years ago, but she puts on a great show.
Yeah, we saw her. My daughter's gone to, since she was little, I don't think they even still sell any children's sizes. So when she was little, it would always be like get a child or an adult extra small t-shirt, and she would run around and like she would sleep. These were her pajamas, where it was like a jammy dress on her. That's how long ago. But she always comes to Philadelphia, so that was a simple. But now it's like crazy.
Okay, so for me, I like to say that I'm putting a pause on the podcast, as we've discussed, because I'm trying to find, I've been really, 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 really busy with a lot of stuff, and that doesn't make me happy. So I am actually trying to get rid of some things to simplify my life and only focus on a few things. And especially, I don't know, it's like this time of this chapter of life. My youngest son is leaving for college in a week, and I kind of want to, like, there's been things I wanted to do, since, well, my oldest son is almost 24. So for 24 years, there's a lot of things I want to do. And I don't know that I can give this podcast the full attention that it deserves with all this other stuff that I want to do. So I'm kind of putting a break on the podcast for indefinitely. I don't know. I don't know if it'll come back. I'm not sure. I love talking to you guys, and I love actually making the podcast. I don't like the editing and everything else that's required really to go into it. So, as you know, I am like not going to be doing the podcast anymore. I don't know what the future holds for the podcast, but I'm excited about this next chapter and flying, and I've been kind of dealing with a little bit of burnout with the flying, to be honest. I'm trying to find joy in it again because it's become difficult. I wouldn't say a grind, but yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on for a little while, and enjoying like fun in the airplane and doing some more $100 hamburger stuff. I mean, I haven't done that in so long, and going on weekend trips. And now I won't have any kids at home. I can kind of do that whenever I want. So, and the contract flying stuff comes and goes and it ebbs and flows. So I want to be available to do that as much as possible. And it's just really hard to always schedule this podcast and make sure that it gets edited and posted when it's supposed to on a schedule. So I'm sad to say goodbye. This is the 4th year, and it's changed so much. There's been so many different hosts and topics and guests on here that I am sad to see it go, but I also feel like I just got to do something else right now for a little bit.
Hey, I get it. I mean, I get it. Listen, I was going to redo my kitchen, and at the same time, I also want to move. So like, I couldn't imagine dealing with a podcast. So
yeah, it's kind of like the Oshkosh thing. I can only do so much, or it's not fun if I'm doing too much stuff. That's not fun anymore. And
especially when there's that burnout level. I don't fly the way you fly, so I can't. I can't imagine everything. And then, didn't you like get your CFI and stuff after the kids were finally old enough, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this. It's a new chapter. Like it's always a new chapter every couple of years. So it is. I think that's the same for me. I'm sure it's the same for Cooper. Like we all as moms have a new chapter, or okay, it didn't work out. I'm going to go backwards. Like I'm going to go back to my safety net. Like,
right.
So it is what it is. I mean, it's sad, but it
the
could
only
also
person
come back.
The only person that can fix that and make it the way I wanted my life to be is me. I have to pick and choose things to eliminate and keep, and I can't do it all, unfortunately. It's only so much time, and I want to have some leisure time and have fun and that kind of thing. So we'll try to stay in touch anyway.
Yeah, maybe it will come back around. We don't know.
Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah,
but it's not like we're not going to be in the same. Like we're not going to not talk.
Right. No, I never want to talk to you again.
I'm done, Stephanie. I'm done. Just tell me real quick.
No, we're going to stay in touch, of course. And, as far as like social media and stuff, now I'll always do the scholarships. The social media stuff, I'm a little bit burned out on that too. I get a little bit tired of constantly, you just cannot ever get ahead because it's got to be constant, always putting stuff out there. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? This is like so much freaking work. I'm only going to put things on there that I want to put on there and not feel like I have to post something all the time. I don't know what will happen with Fly Girl, the brand, the clothes, the stuff. I'm not really sure. It's been going for about 7 years. And, I am the one that creates a lot of the advertising. Sporty's has some, but I usually make things and tag them and then they reshare it. But it's kind of up to me. And like that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I don't know what's going to happen with all that. So I just want to have fun. I just want to have a good time.
I hope you keep Fly Girl, because that's like one of the few apparel lines that I see constantly at any airport. If there happens to be a thing, it seems like I'm like, oh, there's a Fly Girl shirt.
Well, maybe, if I like cutting out some things such as the podcast and stuff will allow me to, like, I feel like I've just kind of lost creativity in a way with it because I'm just so busy with other things that I don't have space in my head to come up with new products and new ideas for posts and stuff. And maybe once I eliminate some things and kind of pare things back down, then I'll be like, okay, I can focus on this now. And I have a lot of great ideas and we'll keep this going. I don't know.
You always come up with something. So I couldn't. I don't even know how to log into Zoom. You have no idea. I would be like, Cooper, do you know how to press record?
Oh my gosh.
I had to rely on her for everything.
I know. It's hard keeping up with all that stuff. Everything. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I wish you well.
Thank you.
You will do great. And no matter what you do,
thank you very much.
Do great.
Appreciate it. You and I were going to try to connect in New York and those freaking storms came through.
Oh yeah. I forgot about. I want to go. I can't even think of what the hotel's called. I want to go so bad. And my husband's like, yeah, we'll go for a night. Like,
the TWA thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I want to go.
I want to go with you.
So much fun.
Yeah,
I think it would just be cool, like to link up at the coolest. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe this time we'll plan something, and then maybe this time we can do the Hudson River. What do you call it?
Yeah, the corridor. Sometimes I just say the Hudson Pass, but yeah.
Yes. And then
maybe we can find it when all three of us are in the area. That would be cool.
Great. Yeah, this is New York's pretty far from California, so I'm sure that's kind of a.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you were in town that one time. I was thinking you meant the TWA hotel, but you're right. I was like, yeah, I don't feel like being tossed into the building that day when you were actually like, hey, I know it's last minute, but I'm in town.
Yes.
The winds were like, I think
like last week or 2 weeks ago. Was it a week ago?
With your mom, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, my goodness. I was like, no, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, the weather was crazy. And I didn't expect it to actually work out. I just kind of threw it out there. I was like, hey, I'm here.
Well, I would have come. Like if somebody tells me like, oh, I'm gonna be in North. Okay, I should stress.
Well, remember I said maybe you should look at the weather because it's kind of looking a little.
Yeah, because I looked in you look ahead and it's like, oh, it's going to be clear, and then it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's huge, major storms coming through. Yeah. All right. Well, anybody want to say anything else before we wrap up?
Well, I just want to say I was so honored to be a part of it, and it's been so fun.
Thank you for being
a part of it.
I appreciate it very much. I've enjoyed chatting with you and Stephanie and getting to know you and getting a little peek into each of your lives. It's been cool.
It's definitely been an adventure.
Yes. Yes, it has. All right, ladies. Well, hopefully we will be talking soon, and have fun. Keep in touch.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.